Welcome to the show, everybody. My name is Mark Farzetta. This is the Farzy Show presented by MyBookie, mybookie.ag. And it is wonderful to have you along for the ride. You know, Thursday is Thanksgiving, and I know we're all thankful for family, friends, food, togetherness. After all that, I'm thankful for Saquon Barkley. The first thing after the normal stuff, I'm thankful that Saquon Barkley is a Philadelphia Eagle. And you guys know what a fan of Will Ferrell, I'm not in the minority there. Step Brothers, we all should love the movie Step Brothers, right? And I couldn't help but think, if you're a Giants fan, just for a second, work with me on this one. You pay Danny Dimes, Saquon becomes an Eagle, you cut Danny Dimes. What the hell happened? That's kind of the emotion I had going into this game. And Danny Dimes was terrible there against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That was fun. And Saquon goes off for a career night for the Philadelphia Eagles, helping to propel the Eagles to a 9-2 record after their 37-20 victory over the LA Rams on Sunday night, prime time. Eagles on fire, 7th win in a row, and they are off and running, pun intended, with Saquon Barkley. And I was thinking about, versus last year. We didn't get too much into this last week. I remember playing the cut last week, though, of Nick Sirianni talking about why we should have faith in this team and not be expecting some kind of epic collapse like what happened at the end of last year. Well, there's two things. One, that was an epic and historic collapse. That doesn't happen every season, all right? The other reason I have confidence in this football team is very simple. Saquon Barkley. Saquon Barkley is the game changer of game changers. I mean, as impactful as A.J. Brown was when he came here originally and is still, Saquon Barkley is the next step up. Like, people would talk about A.J. Brown in the same light as Terrell Owens, and I always thought that was a little much. We're talking about a guy that is third all-time in receiving touchdowns, like all-time in Terrell Owens, okay? So that's a pretty good football player right there. And A.J. Brown is fantastic, but I don't put him on the same level as Terrell Owens. I put Saquon Barkley on that level, without question. In terms of the guy that is an absolute game changer, talking about a guy that in the first half of this game had his struggles. Offensive line had their struggles. Saquon Barkley described it after the game as, there was little things here where his foot would get hit or he'd slip a little bit or the block just wasn't there at the right time and they couldn't spring the big run. And then they handed him the football in a 7-3 game coming out of halftime. And Saquon Barkley, with one play, with one run, went 70 yards in 11 seconds, and the Philadelphia Eagles, just like that, took over the game. Just like that, took over the game. They get one field goal from Jake Elliott in the first quarter. Second quarter, they get another field goal from Jake Elliott. Then they make it a 13-7 game there going into halftime. And then they hand the ball to Saquon, and he pops one off and gives the Eagles a 20-7 lead. One play, 70 yards, 11 seconds, one touchdown. That was the haymaker, as we described it on the postgame show last night. And then they later delivered the knockout punch from Kenny Gainwell, of all people, who capped off an 8-play, 70-yard drive with a 13-yard touchdown run to help the Eagles move up to 27-14 in this game. And the Eagles then blew it open with another 70-plus run by Saquon Barkley in the fourth quarter that made it, of course, the 37-14 Eagles lead with 2:44 into the fourth quarter there, or 2:44 left in the fourth quarter. I was just dazzled, absolutely dazzled. Saquon Barkley goes on to have a night for the ages. 255 yards on the ground, 47 through the air for a total of 302 yards and 2 touchdowns. I mean, I was going off against the Commanders. We were talking about Saquon Barkley 10 days ago, 10 days prior to this game. Saquon Barkley getting the football twice in 20 seconds, going for 62 yards and 2 touchdowns in 20 seconds. And with the Reed Blankenship interception in the middle. He goes off and has another historic performance in this one. This one, career night. Goes off for 255 yards. That's the most he's ever had in a game. That's the 255 yards on the ground. Set an Eagles single-game rushing record, beating LaShawn McCoy's 217 yards that he had against the Lions in 2013 in the snow. He absolutely popped off. The 302 total yards from scrimmage in the victory makes it the most by any player in Eagles history in the ninth most in-game and the ninth most in-game in NFL history. Ninth most in-game yards from scrimmage in NFL history. I know it's easy to say the Giants are dumb, but we can all agree he was never going to do this with the Giants, right? So that's pretty damn good. Damn glad he's on our team. Damn glad he's on this squad. He's the ultimate game changer. And when I think about dominant, flat out dominant Eagles performances, I mean, that was the most dominant that I can remember. Absolutely incredible. And I think about dominant Eagles players. And I'm just thinking, look, it's 1 year, not even 1 year yet when it comes to SAQUON Barkley and his time here in Philadelphia. But T.O., yep. 2004, that was pretty incredible on their way to the 2005 Super Bowl. That was an incredible. You know, T.O. was here 2 years. And although he only played in, 11 games in one of the seasons, if that, he still led the team in receiving that year as well. So he was here a year and a half game-wise. Both years, both seasons, he led the team in receptions. Led the team in receiving. Saquon's performance this year is certainly very much on par with that. And then I think about dominating years from Reggie White. I mean, these are the names that we're talking about here with what we can compare SAQUON Barkley to. And it's happening right now. So bask in it for as long as you possibly can and hopefully longer. All in all, the defense was fantastic last night as well. The garbage time touchdowns are really starting to piss me off here because, you have another opportunity here for a 20-point win. And then they get the Cooper Kupp touchdown. So it goes 37-14 to 37-20, which was the final score, of course. And then in the Jacksonville Jaguars game, the Eagles certainly allowed them back into that one. That could have been a bigger victory. The Eagles going up against Washington Commanders. That could have been a bigger victory. But these garbage time touchdowns really got to go, man. Because you're talking about 10-point victories. You're talking about potential more 20-point victories in these wins. But you know what? I know wins are wins, but rather continue to blow out the opponent. And it's pretty spectacular what we've been getting to see so far this season. SAQUON is by far, and the win. The win's the biggest thing. SAQUON right after that is absolutely incredible, just dazzling performance. And on an awful note, Brandon Graham. I can remember 2018, and I brought this up on postgame with Gunner last night too. I can remember 2018, after that season, they're walking off the field. So 2019, they're walking off the field in New Orleans at the Superdome. The ball just went through the hands of Alshon Jeffrey, who was at the game last night, crazy enough. And I remember Brandon Graham walking off the field, finding Gunner, throwing his arms around him and just hugging him and just like embracing him. Enveloping is more the word. And he thought that was going to be his last game as an Eagle. And for it to go down with the ball just going through Alshon Jeffrey's hands, I have no doubt that the Eagles would have continued that drive, scored the touchdown, won the game, went on to the NFC Championship game, and then won the Super Bowl again with, again, backup quarterback Nick Foles. After that game, at cleanout day, I remember being in the locker room, and when the sessions were closed in the locker room, we were walking out, and when you walk out the doors of the locker room at the NovaCare complex, you turn right, and all the way down the end of the hall, there's a door that leads back up to the parking lot, and that's where all the TV people would do their TV hits and all that stuff, or the reporters would walk into the work area. and they'd sit at their desks and they'd work on the stories, whatever. At that door that everyone has to walk through, Brandon Graham was standing there. And Brandon Graham was hugging everyone. Brandon Graham was hugging this is 2000. The year is 2019. It's just after the 2018 season. Now we're going into the 2019 offseason. And Brandon Graham thinks he is done as a Philadelphia Eagle. And it was clean out day. So everyone was there. And we're walking out, and everyone, he's holding the door for us, and he's thanking all of us for how we've covered him. These are the same people, myself included. Oh, he's a bust. Oh, Earl Thomas, trying to take an Earl Thomas, all that stuff. And he owned that from the start. Every player that's ever been labeled a bust in Philadelphia, just pay attention to Brandon Graham. Because this guy kept the right attitude throughout the entire thing. And he was like, people are right. I am a bust. In the moment, 2-3 years into his career, he's talking about himself. People are calling me a bust. And they're right. Right now, I am a bust. Right now, I am a bust. But you know the difference? You know what's funny about right now? Right now has already changed. Right now is already over. And that was his mindset about the whole thing. Right now, nope, that's then. This is now. And that was always his mentality about how he was going to get around being a bust. Now you're talking about a guy that after last night became the third highest sack total, the third leading sack getter for the Philadelphia Eagles in history. This could be the end for him. Torn triceps, was telling the media afterwards that this could be it. His season's done. He didn't even want to think about next year. Here's one thing I did not expect to say at any point this season. The Eagles can't afford to miss the production of Brandon Graham. Brandon Graham was having an incredible night last night. He was playing just incredible football. Tackles for loss, got the sack, 3 quarterback pressures. He was playing incredible. We were supposed to get an almost ceremonial farewell tour with Brandon Graham, where his snap percentages, snap totals were trending downwards, not upwards. Where his production was trending downwards, not upwards. He was supposed to be playing like a 36-year-old player. He's not supposed to be playing like a 28-year-old. And that's exactly what he was going out there and doing this year. He was balling, man. We start the post-game show, and I look, and I just see this look on Gunner's face, and he's just like, "Oh no, oh no." And we actually were, we were at break at the time, and he's like, "BG's done." I was like, "What?" And then Seth looks at me and goes, "BG's done." And I look down, and I see a couple of alerts go on my phone, and I hope it's not the end for him. He was playing too good at this age. He was playing too well at this age. I don't want this to be the end for Brandon Graham. I'm going to let you hear from him right away. Hang with this for the people on the podcast. This won't matter to you, but for the people watching the show, the camera took a minute to focus here. But BG tells reporters after the game that he's done, and they didn't believe him. They thought he was kidding.
I'm out for the rest of the year. For real, right here.
Yeah. What happened? What happened?
Tore my tricep.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I got chipped. Got hit in my elbow. Tore my tricep. But man, hey, like I told the boys, man, we got the mission. The mission's still the mission. We pour everything we can into this game. If I say I trust God, I trust God. So, man, I'm just enjoying myself. I'm about to enjoy this little rehab, and then I'm about to enjoy leading the team, the rest of the year. As soon as I can be back out there, I'm going to be out there. But, man, heck, man, we was having fun out there. And we still going to have fun. But, yeah, I'm definitely, as a player, I'm out for the year.
Oh, I mean, a week of rain couldn't dampen this guy's spirits. And he admitted after the game, as he went on in that media session, he said, "Oh, I'm going to cry. I'm going to cry at some point. He's like, I called my wife right away after the trainers talked to me, and the kids were crying in the background and everything. And he said he's not going to think about next year yet. He just wants to worry about getting back and helping this team and leading and being that leader that he is and being the captain. He's like, I'm still a captain of this team, and I want to help this team do whatever I can. I want to do whatever I can to help this team win football games. If that means mindset, then that's mindset. If that means mentality, that means mentality. He's like, but don't think I'm not going to be on the sidelines talking trash. And he even told us what he's going to be saying. He's like, you're lucky I'm not playing. You're lucky I'm not playing. That kind of thing. And he's laughing about it and everything, but his heart's broken. This is devastating news. But he's going to take it just as he has everything else in his career. He's going to take it in stride. And he is going to do with it, as he put it, he's going to deal with it. He's going to deal with what God gave him. And that's what he's going to do with this injury. And I really hope it's not the end for a couple of reasons. One, he's great. And two, he's playing great. Hey, again, 36 years old, you're not supposed to have a resurgence. And somehow Vic Fangio, like he has with the rest of this defense, has found a way to tap in and be like, how do I get the best out of you? How do I put you in the best possible position to have success? How do I put you in the best possible position to make a play? You weren't supposed to see production like this for Brandon Graham this year. He also just talked about how proud he was of his team. And this is a real gut punch when it comes to the idea that this could be it for him as a Philadelphia Eagle. I'd love to see him come back because he's still playing at a very high level. We'll get into, not that you can replace Brandon Graham, but now the challenge is put at the feet of a couple of people. We'll get into that for the Philadelphia Eagles. 3, actually, are being challenged with this Brandon Graham, unfortunate Brandon Graham news. Something else from last night's game away from Brandon Graham. So, hey, look, I know it's torn triceps. There's a lot worse things that could happen, but man, this is heartbreaking for a veteran player, a Super Bowl champion, the 3rd highest all-time sack leader for the Philadelphia Eagles. It's devastating news, but thoughts and prayers, obviously, and nothing but good vibes to BG. Also in last night's game, this was wild to me. Nick Sirianni. So in last night's game, Nick Sirianni was a little baffling. It's the word that comes to mind here. I'm watching, we're going into halftime, and there's a couple of things. One, what took so long for him to challenge the Williams fumble? 2, why did Hurts scramble on a free play? 3, why didn't Sirianni go for 2 after the A.J. Brown touchdown? He made it 13-7 instead of 14-7. Now, you could say, well, that doesn't guarantee they're going to make the 2-point conversion. Sure. Why didn't Sirianni call a timeout after the Nakobe Dean sack in the first half that put him on the 20, that would have put the Rams on their own 27-yard line? They're letting time tick off with about 1:20 remaining in the first half. They don't call timeout. They wait till after the Williams run with 38 seconds to call timeout. And then on a 4th and 7, Hurts tries to run a draw at the end of the first half. The Eagles, again, at the end of that first half, they were up 13-7. So you have an opportunity to maybe kick a field goal, a long field goal. You'll get the ball back. You'll have at least, 2 timeouts left. And they're going into the locker room, and I'm like, what the hell what was Sirianni doing in that first half? And if there was ever a time to maybe go for 2, that would have been the time to go for 2 after the A.J. Brown touchdown. And then I remember, this was so weird, the sense of calmness of, they got this. They're going to win this game. I was writing those notes down, and I went, it's not going to matter. I swear, I had a Paulie Pom-Poms moment of this isn't going to matter. They're going to win this game. They got the Rams right where they want them. They're getting the ball out of halftime. They forced the turnover on the first possession when the Rams were driving in the first quarter, and they flipped the script real quick on that one. They got this. They got this. And then they got it. Then they had it. And now they have it. They did. Not that I was expecting one play, 70 yards, 11 seconds, touchdown, Saquon Barkley coming out of halftime. But they have been and I hate this phrase, but it's so true. They are second half players all the way. And the guy that helped put things in the right direction, A.J. Brown, was on fire last night. He could do almost no wrong. He got robbed of another touchdown thanks to thanks to a pass interference call that then was negated because of offsetting penalties because of personal foul on Landon Dickerson, because he gave a little shove to Jared Verse, who, by the way, for the most part was non-existent last night after me telling you guys, you gotta watch this guy. But A.J. Brown was fantastic last night. The touchdown reception that he had that was poked out at the last second, it was funny. Later on, Cooper Kupp had a reception that was also ruled a reception and ruled later a fumble. But it was the same type of thing. It was catching the ball, tucking the ball, taking a step, then losing it. So A.J. Brown got a touchdown out of it. Cooper Kupp ended up still getting a fumble and then short of a first down, but still both plays were ruled a catch. But A.J. Brown was also fantastic last night. 6 catches, 109 yards. How about this? Going back to last year against them, I think he also had 6 catches for about 119 yards. I think it was last year against the Rams and in the Eagles' 23-15 win? 23-13 win, excuse me. 23-14 win last year against the Rams. But either way, A.J. Brown went off 6 catches, 109 yards, and that touchdown. He had a 28-yard reception. He had a 19-yard reception. And I think he had another one at 17 yards. Like, the man was making plays, people. Man was absolutely making plays. And I was not mad at him for it. Oh, man, I skipped a page on my legal pad. That sucks. I hate doing that. But yeah, he was absolutely making things happen through the air. When Jalen Hurts needed him last night, he was certainly there. Jalen Hurts, by the way, 15-22 for with a touchdown, 179 yards. Also ran 12 times for 39 yards. How about the one tush push where he got 5 yards out of that? Not a bad tush push operation there. The matchup I was really dying to see last night was Puka Nacua, Cooper Kupp versus Cooper DeJean and Quenyon Mitchell. How about this? And Seth said this on the postgame last night. We were talking about it in the green room, but it's so true. Sean McVay and Matthew Stafford wanted nothing to do with Quenyon Mitchell or Cooper DeJean. Mostly Quenyon Mitchell. Cooper DeJean got challenged a couple times, but Quenyon Mitchell barely got challenged. Darius Slay, and then later Isaiah Rodgers. That's who Sean McVay and Matthew Stafford were picking on in this game more than anything. Cooper DeJean allowed a couple of catches there to Puka Nacua. Look, not everyone is going to just get shut down, unfortunately, by this entire secondary. Puka Nacua went out there for 117 yards on 9 catches. Most of those were on Isaiah Rodgers. A couple of them were on Cooper DeJean. I think one Cooper Kupp reception was on Quenyon Mitchell, and I think that's going to go to the touchdown. Garbage time touchdown, but that's going to get charged to him. But all in all, man, they were for the most part contained, absolutely contained. And the Puka Nacua would have been a touchdown reception, I think, if Isaiah Rodgers didn't interfere with him. But I didn't think that there was enough there to call PI. I think Puka Nacua did everything he could to fool the referee into thinking that that was PI, and they threw the flag, and the next thing you know, they got a touchdown, and that was the Robinson touchdown, I think, in the corner of the end zone on Isaiah Rodgers. They picked on him again. But for the most part, Cooper DeJean continues to impress. Guantanamo Bay continues to be a thing, baby. And they went up against a very potent offense that had been clicking, and they held him to 13 points when it mattered. It was still a dazzling performance by this Eagles, or I should say by Quenyon Mitchell, and then unfortunately some garbage time crapola. Atwell also got involved in that too. Tutu Atwell got involved in that as well. But all in all, still feeling pretty damn good about this Philadelphia Eagles secondary, their youth and their talent. That's what I feel good about. I also feel really good. I feel really good about, let's see here. The Eagles are home by now, and they don't get on a plane for the rest of the season. Now, why does that matter? Well, ample time to recover. Like, put it this way. The Baltimore Ravens are going to play in Los Angeles. They're going to play in Los Angeles tonight against the Chargers. And then they're going to fly back, and they'll get in their beds late Tuesday morning, mid-morning, I guess, Tuesday, tomorrow. And then they got to turn around and play the Eagles on Sunday at 4:35. Now, is that a extremely short week? No, it is not. It's not a Sunday to Thursday, okay? But that's not fun either. That's not fun. That's one less day of prep, essentially, a full prep to get ready for the Eagles on Sunday. So, hey, hopefully that has something to do with it. All in all, I still think the Eagles win against the Ravens coming up. The one question I do have regarding that game is what's going to go down when it comes to Devontae Smith and what level hamstring strain he's got. Talking to the sports doc yesterday, Dr. Bruce Grossinger, about it, and he just said, this is something that has been nagging at Devontae Smith for a couple weeks now. Maybe push finally came to shove, and they decided to shut him down. We'll see if he's able to go out there come Sunday. I'll keep my fingers crossed for that one. Before I go into some more locker room conversation, locker room talk, with Brandon Graham's injury, there's 3 people that I'll be looking at, keeping a close eye on here. The number one person is Nolan Smith, and I did not expect to say this. Going into the season, you guys know how I felt about it. Nolan Smith, it was not on my immediate plans for somebody that would have an immediate or have an impact this year for the Eagles. We talked about it with on the post-game or the pregame show, rather. Our friend Thomas R. Peterson put it out there, talking about the numbers for Nolan Smith and how his pass rush win rate has been off the charts this season, especially in comparison to last year. And what he has been bringing to the table this year for the Eagles has been absolutely incredible going up from last year. He's the 15th highest pass rush win rate among edge rushers since the bye week. So since coming back from after the Bucs game, they take on the Browns. Since then, the 15th highest pass rush win rate among edge rushers at 16.2%. Last year, he was ranked 129th, only winning 4.5% of the time. So, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and say that Nolan Smith has taken a step up in his production for this Eagles team. Last week, Lane Johnson was talking about how Nolan Smith has raised his game, how he's put on weight, how he's stronger this year. Probably healthier, too, after having that shoulder scope. So, for me, I am pretty impressed by what I have seen recently from Nolan Smith. And right now, the challenge is being put at his feet. Jalix Hunt, the rookie, you're gonna get an opportunity here. I'm going to be watching you. How are you going to rise to the occasion? Are you going to rise to the occasion? Those are the two players I'm going to be looking at. The third name is Howie Roseman. Is there anyone else out there, Howie, that you could – is there any D-end version of Linval Joseph? Is there any D-end version of Ndamukong Suh? Anybody like that? They're just kind of hanging out? Anybody waiting around wants to go ring shopping with the Philadelphia Eagles? Huh? You like what you see? You like what you see? Well, the price is the price. Get in line. Howie Roseman's got to make those moves. But it's going to come down to a phrase that was said the last time the Eagles lost a leader in Los Angeles against the Rams. When Carson Wentz went down in 2017, Malcolm Jenkins uttered the phrase, "We all we got, we all we need." We all we got, we all we need. Nolan Smith, Jalix Hunt, Thomas Booker IV. I feel like I haven't heard his name in a while. We all we got, we all we need. I did not expect the need to replace production. If you would have told me, BG is going to go down this year. Like if you would have had a time machine and then come back and told me, I'd be like, oh, okay, well, you know what? It's a farewell tour anyway. Probably wasn't playing that well, and probably wasn't playing that good. And all right, it's just you'll still be a voice in the locker room, but it is what it is. Whatever, we'll be fine. Oh, he's having a great year. Damn, didn't see that coming. Like all due respect, I didn't expect Brandon Graham to be having like damn near career season in terms of tackles for loss, in terms of sacks, and in terms of just overall production and playing more snaps than he did the previous season. And yet here we are. So Jalix Hunt, Nolan Smith, Howie Roseman. What you doing? My eyes are on you. Oh, yeah, this is good. So that Nick Sirianni fella, he was addressing the media last night. Eagles, of course, have won 7 in a row. He's off to this is insane. With Nick Sirianni, first Eagles head coach with winning seasons in each of his first 4 years with the team. Previously, that was done from 1952 to 1954 with Jim Trimble. How about that? But Nick Sirianni says this team ain't going to get too cocky.
Yeah, that everyone's going to be telling us how good we are. Everyone's going to be telling us, this is you're one of the better teams. We don't listen to that. All we got to do is put our heads down and work. Just like when people tell you you aren't good enough and you got to block it out and put your head down and work, it's the same situation here. Because I think what's going to happen, obviously, and this is what I told our team after is, everyone's going to be calling you. The media is going to be telling you how good you are. The fans are going to be telling you how good you are. That all doesn't matter. All that matters is that we go back to work, get ready for a really good opponent. All that is rat poison, which we'll say. All that is rat poison.
Rat poison? Rat poison. Where did I hear that before? Jason Kelsey. He was the guy 2 years ago. Oh, all the expectations. You're going to be so great. You're going to be so good. All that's rat poison. That's where he started talking about comfortable. You're comfortable. You're being comfortable. Why are you so comfortable? Don't be comfortable. Once you're comfortable, you're done. All that's rat poison. Now they're doing it again. And they should be. They should be blocking everything out. One of the things that impressed me about Nick Sirianni in the 2 previous seasons, and now he's doing it again. What does Nick Sirianni do well? Doesn't call plays, right? He doesn't do the game plan, supposedly. What does he do well? Well, apparently he runs a hell of a meeting and he gets his team prepared. The end of last year, there's no explanation. They sucked. There's just, if you're looking for some analytical breakdown of why they lost those games, I'll give it to you. It's like right here, according to the Elias Sports Bureau, because they sucked. That's why. According to the Elias Sports Bureau, they sucked more than anybody. That's the analytical breakdown of the Eagles' demise last season. That's not going to happen every year. But the Eagles getting too cocky is not something that I think is going to happen. And Nick Sirianni, throughout his career here in Philadelphia, for the most part, with the exception of a historical collapse last year, has done a phenomenal job of getting this team ready to play. Oh, and Saquon Barkley's awesome at football. So there you go. Speaking of Saquon, here he is last night talking about running. Imagine being Saquon Barkley and waiting your whole career to run behind a Jeff Stoutland offensive line. And here he was last night when he was asked about running through some giant holes, pun intended, against the Rams last night.
Big ones. Any bigger holes you've ever seen in your life, though?
No, I mean, these guys here are amazing. They make my job a lot easier. I'm probably going to get a lot of credit, and everyone's going to say this and say that, but in reality, the beauty of this game is it's a team game. And my favorite quote that Nick always says, you can't be great without it's hard to be great without the greatness of others. And those guys and the tight ends and the wide receivers blocking down the field are super amazing.
How about that? Hat tip. And how about this? After the game last night, Saquon Barkley tweets out there, let's hear it for the boys up front. Absolutely love it. And then finally, Saquon Barkley, before he broke off that 72, not that little 70-yard run that he had at the start of the second half. That was nothing. How about the 72-yard run that he had? Before he broke that one off, he took a gander up at the scoreboard. He kind of knew where he was at, but it didn't jinx him.
Are you aware, like, as the game's going on, that, you're closing in not only on your single season rushing record, but also the Eagles for, like, a single game record?
I'm not going to lie. I looked up and I saw I was at 173, and I said, I wish I never saw that. And it worked. But, like, again, I'm a big believer in if it happens, it happens. Let it come to you. It was 4 minutes. We was trying to put the game away. So, I did look up one time to see a replay of the run, and I saw that where I was at, and I literally said to myself, I wish I never saw that, because you don't.
He said that's the devil talking. He said that's the devil talking if you look up and you see that. But But yeah, hey, one thing also came up last night about, will Jalen be okay with what's going on with Saquon Barkley and him getting all the love, and how on the game last night during the national broadcast, they were talking about Saquon Barkley. Oh, Saquon Barkley leading the Eagles. Saquon Barkley leading, not Jalen Hurts leading the Eagles. I don't think Jalen's going to have a problem with it.
Man, he's a hell of a player. He's a hell of a player, and I said that. After the Jacksonville game, and how blessed he is to do some of the things he's capable of, and you accompany that. When you accompany an issue with other issues, you become a problem. And then I think we've got a lot of talent on our team, but I think we're a force when we're all together, and I think that's evident out there when we can find our rhythm and how we play and feed off of one another. And he set the tone for us, especially at the end. I think even these last few weeks, we've had some of those games where they've kind of played out different as the course of the game. But you think about these 4-minute situations where he takes it over.
He's an Eagle. If you want to go see him play, you should download the Game Time app to your phone to create an account. Use promo code Farzy and get $20 off your first purchase on the Game Time app. Use the Game Time app. Get $20 off your first purchase when you use promo code Farzy with the Game Time app. Want to go to the game? Game Time app. Concert, comedy show? Game Time app. Take advantage of the last-minute ticket deals, their flash ticket deals. They even have ticket deals for an hour after the event starts for mega huge Kajunga savings on the Game Time app. So download the Game Time app to your phone, create an account, use promo code Farzy, get $20 off your first purchase. Chat, check, ladies and gentlemen. Wine Niners Wine, what's going on? Tate, what's popping? It's T-Bro, what's going on, buddy? Yeah, victory, hells yeah. Winning record guaranteed. How about that for Nick Sirianni? April, good morning, April. Hey, what's going on? April, what a game. Definitely worth being tired this morning. Absolutely. There is not enough espresso in the world today. I feel like BG's triceps this morning. Happy prime time, post prime time game. Love BG. Never gave up. Hell yeah. April, the last time, what happened the last time? A big player went down an injury in Los Angeles. Yeah. Eagles won the Super Bowl. Oh, the media and fans scared him from going for 2. I think he just knew that this team will turn it on in the second half, and it was like, I don't need to take any chances here. Saquon Mania is running wild, says Luke Skylifter. Yun 9, somebody, what's going on? Oh, James Alexander III, what's going on? We're rolling, says Anthony, R. Anthony. Dollar Blue, what's going on? As a diehard, lifelong fan, I finally see that this team this year don't need a gunslinger. I think that's what that's supposed to be. First play hard defense team. Defense and run. Hell yeah. Devontae, I can't wait for the Ravens game either. Dom Patton, my man. What's going on, Dom? Nice to see you, brother. Thanks, everybody in the chat. You guys are wonderful as per usual. I'm awake. Are you? Yes, we are. 255 yards for Saquon. BG out for the season. I got no sleep last night. My man. Thanks, everyone, for watching. Thanks for listening. Hey, bonus me on Fox 29 coming up in a little bit. So catch me over there as well. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Make sure you hit like and subscribe on the Farzy Show YouTube channel. I will catch you guys tomorrow morning. Oh, by the way, I'm seeing Gladiator tonight. So I'll give you my Gladiator 2 movie review tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Go Birds!